right, let's see if we can get going. Switch over. There we go. Code shows up. Things showing up. Stuff is happening. Okay. Believe we're good to go. Welcome everybody. Okay, so today. It's picking up where we left off yesterday. This you can see on my screen now is the note-taking app Looseleaf, which you have different notebooks. You can create new notebooks. Go in, you can see all your different pages. Jump in, you can scribble and write new stuff. But what we want to do, this one has a lot of benefits. I really enjoy using it. Made this 5 years ago, 7 years ago, long time ago. It's actually running on my screen, but it's running on an old iPad 2 from an equally long time ago. And it does some nice things, but two things that it does not do well. The first, it uses OpenGL to render everything. And so all of the drawing here is using OpenGL to render it down to essentially a texture, which means even though I'm drawing beautiful math Bezier curves, it's actually immediately rasterizing that to an image through OpenGL. So I don't get any of the nice vector business that I really want. The other thing that it does is every single page is the screen dimensions of the iPad. And so every page and every book is the exact same ratio, width to height ratio. What I would like to be able to do is easily support any dimension paper in the app. So US letter or A4 and so that's the goal of this, what I'm calling Looseleaf 2.0. I don't know if what's actually gonna become of it, but I'm trying to do as much as I can just out in the open for anybody else to play with as well. And so following along, show you course code that I'm playing with is in one here. So this URL right here, you can go there, go here, and you can play with the code that we're playing with today. So I have that open here. I'm going to launch that into a simulator and see what that looks like. So up until today, we've actually gotten a fair bit done. And so it has a lot of the same structure as Looseleaf does. So you see it has the list views. You can click in, you get a grid view, and you can click in further and you get a page view. This does a couple things already that Looseleaf has never been able to do. See if okay. First is it supports rotation out of the box, so you can see this page is obviously rotated. You can easily rotate any other page. Pretty great. And it supports arbitrary page sizes, so you can see this page is physically a smaller page than this one. Anyway, doesn't matter. You can see different page sizes out of the box. Pretty great. So the thing that I want to play with today is, well, now I want to play with more. I just noticed something. But right at the top of the list, you see that icon? That tells you, it's kind of like the pull to refresh, but it tells you what view you're going into. So I'm currently in that. I'm going to go into grid view. And grid view, I'm going to go into row view, right? So that icon, when I'm in up and down mode, that was interesting. But I fixed that. We have too many things to fix. Have appearing pages. Have icon at the top. Have grid view animation. So first one is that disappearing page, which I fixed here. Maybe yesterday I accidentally undid that fix. That should have fixed it. Anyways, so there's that. We'll dig down into that, see what's going on. The icon at the top. So when you're in horizontal, you can switch and either scroll vertically, or I can toggle the direction and scroll horizontally instead. But when I'm scrolling horizontally, I still pull up to go back the other section. And instead, I want to pull farther to the left. So right now, you can see there's a lot of play up and down. It bounces in any direction. But when in vertical mode, it only bounces vertically. It does not bounce left and right. And grid animation here. No, in here. So I come back to shelf view. So notice those pages in that very first row. The very first page in that first row is going from a tall page, and then it's animating into its rotated counterpart. See, look at this guy right there, right? When I'm pinching down, it's actually animating from the wrong rotation. It should already be horizontal. So there's that. But I think let's poke around at disappearing pages. Let's see if we can get. No, you know what? I want to do this first. I came here to do. I'm going to do that icon. On horizontal mode, I want that icon to the left, not to the top. That icon is here, collapse page icon. But more importantly, I think regardless of where this guy lives, where its frame is, everything. Progress, alpha. Yeah, so right now it never moves, it's just sitting up on top of the collection view. Want, fix, layout, believe it's this. Every time my layout changes, I'm changing if I'm allowed to bounce horizontal or vertical. And maybe I'm just always bouncing both. This or my content size, my layout. This guy is always larger than my. And so since it has setting this anyway, my layout content size always fits below this header, so inside the safe area inset, below that to the bottom of the screen. I don't believe I'm ever setting content size outside of my safe area, but I might be. That's another potentially. For now, let's just see bounce is set to. Am I getting called? Will change. But I never get that did change. Why don't I get a did change? Here. I'm animated. I'm finished. Delegate. Sample collection. Oh. Sure. There we go. That would do it. Now I do get that still bounces. Page view always bounces in both directions. Potentially do that. So now it's not that. So you see I'm bouncing both directions whenever, no matter what direction I'm in, even though they behave differently. So I think that means size. It's my contents. So here's my collection view. Content size. Let's just look at what those are, right? Okay. So when I transition into a vertical page view, get those as my bounds. My width is 8.4. My width is 8.4. Left and right are 0, so those are the exact same. It means I cannot go left and right. If I switch to horizontal mode, the height of 1112, the height of less than 1112, my content size, and the top inset. How do I prevent scrolling vertically? Got to be something simple that I'm over. and storyboard? Is there a toggle? Bounce both, show both. How you doing? All right, what if we do why doing that? Browser window. Control only. For flow layout though. Does layout actually control layout too? I didn't think that controlled or had specific flags for scrolling. Maybe it does. Layout transition. Yeah, I don't see anything in here. I'm not extending flow layout, I'm only extending the collection view layout. So none of them would doubt it's that. But I just want to check something. That's X. This is when I'm scrolling normally, which is what I want. That 0Y is technically inside of the safe area inset. So I want to get outside of that inset. So I'm just going to hard code it for now. Just to see if it's because my target scroll point is actually up here in the corner, and I probably want it down here. Maybe that's related. That's the only thing I can think of that I'm doing outside of the safe area. I do have a view up there. I could get rid of that. For now, let's reduce the number of things that are happening. Okay. Oh, maybe. So actually, this is interesting. So here's what's actually happening here. When I go into grid view, you can see that that group before actually flies up and the group below flies down. Right? So they're vertically offset up and down. So they're I don't actually remove any sections from the collection view. I switch into different views. So I'm in section 1 right here. Section 0 and section 2 still exist, but they're just above and below. And that's true even in page view. Or in page view, above page view, kind of the negative Y area, section 0 exists. And then below, way down here at the bottom, below all the other pages and below the end of the content area is where section 2 exists. And it's actually physically laying out there. They're just invisible. That's where their frames are, which means that when I'm in horizontal mode, I still have a section being laid out above this one and below this one. That's why. Possibly. Not actually sure. I should never be returning those anyway from here. That attribute elements in rect. It might think that those elements are up there. So let's try something. Prepare layout. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm in horizontal mode. This is gross, but I just want to see if this is actually part of the problem or not. Get rid of that window because we don't need that anymore. I want to see if this is part of the problem or not. 0 section. Am I crazy? Crazy. Number of sections. Collection view. Section plus if section not equal self section. So I've already laid out my section, so I'm laying out every other section. Self, number of items in the section, plus, okay. First thing I want to do is I want to make some attributes for the header section, right? There we are for the header of that section. It's going to be at 100, 100, 100. Going to be hidden, right? So what this is going to do is this is going to force every attribute of every section to be within my safe area of the content view, whereas I had been putting sections kind of outside the scrollable area, which I think is what made them bounce the collection view. I'm forcing them to be inside of the scrollable area, and we're just going to hide them. And we're going to do the same thing for every item. Element kind. Oh, we want layout, solid index path, item section. Right. Here we go. Collection view attributes for the cell at the index path. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to pile them all in the same spot. So now our cache is going to stick all of those same spot. And let's just see if that fixes it. And to make sure it's returning the right thing, we'll go here. So we're going to go into vertical mode. Vertical mode works fine. I can scroll up and down, but I cannot scroll left and right. I'm going to turn this breakpoint on and switch directions. And so this should give me that's going to keep going into the put a breakpoint there. No, that's the one thing that frustrates me is I want the breakpoint at this level. I don't want the breakpoint at this level, right? But it's forcing the breakpoint to happen kind of inside the block instead of outside the block. 44 elements. That feels right because that's all of the pages of the top and bottom section plus probably the first page. But it's still bouncing vertically. Right? The other hammer we're going to hit with is collection view size. I'm going to hit it with a hammer and make it smaller so that way it's not pixel perfect on the size. And we'll see if that makes a difference. Horizontal mode. That does not make a difference. Thought this would be the easier side of it. What am I not doing? Checked. So here's to I can't talk. To reiterate the problem. The problem is that here in this mode, I can scroll up and down and only up and down. I cannot bounce left and right. That is a good thing. When I go into grid mode, I can go up and down, but not left and right. That is a good thing. When I go into page mode, vertical page mode, I can go up and down, but not left and right. That is a good thing. When I switch to horizontal page mode, I can go left and right, but I can also go up and down. I only want to go left and right, not up and down. Not entirely sure why that is. Oops. So what I've tried is there's an icon that used to be sitting up here in the header area. I removed that. I removed items section that were once above and below content area. Those are now gone. I've forced my content size to be smaller. So in vertical mode, I can put it down into scale. This shows the real physical scale, the real physical size of the sheets of paper. And this shows the sheets of paper zoomed to fit the iPad. Right now I can only do that in vertical mode. Let's do that in horizontal mode and see if that makes a difference somehow. So the direction button, toggle direction, layout. Set fit width with my current layout. Yeah. Okay. Here. That way, whenever I toggle the width, it's going to keep the direction the same. Whenever I toggle the direction, it's going to keep the width the same. Now I should be able to toggle each setting. Direction, scale, direction. Here. That did not affect it, because here in tiny scale, I cannot go left and right. Here in tiny scale, I can still go up and down. Matter. Go up and down. I'm not doing anything in did scroll to affect the content offset. So my pinch. That affected it. None of that affects it. Target content offset, we already walked with, and that didn't do anything. Never getting. That one's never getting hit. Never getting. Not the proposed offset. Not even calling that. Not the proposed offset. Layout attributes. Prepare my layout. Perfectly fine. My content size is 0. Oh, I see. My section height is correct for 1088. Mode. Bounces horizontally off. Bounces vertically on. Right? Bounces horizontally off. Bounces vertically off. So it's not resetting. It's not resetting the bounce. But we already. Load. Oops. So it bounces vertical. Does not bounce horizontal. My new layout is the page layout. And we looked at this. How can we have looked at this and really funny? By funny, I mean terrible. Oh. It bounces vertically if our direction is vertical. Bounces horizontal. All right. That's the issue. Then that's using and terrible all at the same time. All right. Ah. Yeah, that's the issue. That's really funny. Ah, really funny. Okay, cool. Cool. So you notice though that once I've turned off bouncing, this padding that I had accounted for this safe area inset is now showing up at the bottom because I suspect my top page the wrong spot. We prepare pages, we create our frame. That sets center. Care about. So what must be happening is that's yeah, okay. On the vertical mode, we go into horizontal mode. I was just in. X, Y, in. Oh, because it's one of the yeah. It's one of the rotated ones. Where's my rotation? This guy's rotated half a turn, so that's why his difference, he has a difference. So he's set at a negative 216y, but for a non-rotated page, he has no rotation. His offset is 0, but this difference I believe we can put here. Edge inset. Safe area inset. So this is top. That means this guy's left, even though left is always 0. Here, left. Okay. Now my inset should be in the correct place. Correction. Yeah, there we go. I wonder why it bounces like that. You see that? See it? So it animates down. It doubles that safe area inset. Animating back to vertical mode is fine. I'm in vertical mode. Animating into horizontal mode animates to the wrong offset. I think. Have to do with what we did here. Maybe. Yeah, that might be. Still wrong. So that's okay. Moving into vertical mode, moving into horizontal mode, it actually scrolls down. Here we are moving into vertical mode. Now, does that even get called? It does. Proposed offset is minus 24. So here, I'm actually moving up by 24 compared to its proposed offset. Yeah. So maybe what I need to do. Okay, so this is interesting. This is something to do with safe area insets that I'm not sure what correct the correct way to handle this is. So let me pull this guy up. Right, here's what's going on. I understand it. So if we're looking at the top of the page, at the top left corner of my screen. So that corner is this corner right here, but the corner to the bezel, right? So this is all iPad, right? This is the screen. So now I have 24, ugly 4. That is a slightly less ugly 4. 24 points at the top, and then this is my Wi-Fi and my time, whatever, right? Up there, that 24 points, which means that right there is 0, 0. So I had been putting pages at 0, 0, but when I put pages at 0, 0, let's see if this works. Okay, so there we go. So there's one page, right? And then here's a duplicate of that page. So when I had pages at 0, 0, what it was doing beforehand is it was putting the 0, 0 of the page up there. But it was doing that, I think, because I'm scrolling to 0. And so what it should be doing is on a real page. So this is where it was putting my page. It was putting my corner of my page up here in the top of the corner. And my Y should be negative 24. But I'm forcing it to scroll to 0 instead of to negative 24. And so I want a negative self collection view, safe area inset, top. Right? And this, I want a negative safe area left, I believe. Oh, sorry. That one's still top. Down here, I want left. Not actually sure about this one because my current safe area inset left is 0. But I think if you know, sometimes you have the little handle because of multitasking or whatever else. I think that would cause me to have a negative inset there. And so now my proposed offset is correct. And now up here, I do not want to adjust for my insets. I do want my page to be at 0, 0. And my proposed offset will account for the safe area insets. Right? Does that make sense? Pretty sure that makes sense. Oh, animation. Right. So look. So even though I'm scrolling to scroll here, I scroll into horizontal mode. set is 24. My Y returned as a negative 24, so it does, my offset does account for that. But I think that because my content height does not include the safe area inset, that might be why. Section view. It probably won't tell me in here. Yep. What if we account for that in our content size, right? Will that be any different? Offset. Horizontal mode, yeah. Section height. My items. Yeah, so this is always the exact point height of a page. This is the largest ever point height of a page. Then that means down here, could add inset.bottom. Left, right. So now, up here, in a moment, we'll make sure that the section height is the full height of our iPad. Okay, so prepare layout is finished. Section height is still 1088. Is wrong. Yeah. Oh. This only runs sometimes if every page is small. So I actually want here that. That's what I want. Okay, let's try that. No, still popped it out to the wrong place. I wonder what's the right way to account for that. For that content set. So what's interesting is here, that safe area inset causes an overscroll of the collection view. See that in, where's my scroll view? Did scroll. See that here. Right. So here I have plenty of space up and down. See, it settles on -24 because of that 24-point inset right here. So it's most comfortable to rest at a negative safe area inset. My content starts at 0, 0. I want to do the exact same thing, except now my content height, in this case, in vertical scroll mode, it goes on, effectively forever. It goes on for a very, very long time. In horizontal mode, my content height is exactly from here down to the bottom of the iPad. In that case, my content is smaller than my screen. My content is smaller than my my collection view. I think that's the core of the problem, basically. How tall is this down here? It's 3 times (72 pixels, which is 1.5 times this height up here. So this height at the top, inch to zoom skills or not. So here we go. So 48, that's 48 pixels, which is 24 points. So that's my header, right? Right there. 24 points. Down here, I actually have 72 points. So 72 pixels. That should be 48. So that's very different too, which is bizarre. Let's get rid of this. That didn't help anybody. That's a lie. Let's see what that does to our screenshot. Now here, horizontal mode. Did that make this any smaller? Like maybe it did. Yeah, it did. You can see even from the thumbnail, it did. Yeah. Right. So now it's probably 48. Yeah. That's good. Oh, I forgot to look at here. Let's put the offset back in. Now in horizontal mode, we can see our offset is at 0. Whereas I think what we want our offset to be at, oops, this resting bit at -24. I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't rest at -24. But I guess when the content is too small, it makes sense for it to rest at a different location, does it? All sense to you? The answer is no. No, it does not. So my header attributes are adjusting by the inset. I think I'm just going to have to do the same thing. Down here for each of the items. On vertical mode, horizontal mode, by top. I don't like it. Feels gross. That's what got us into trouble in the first place. Now it's in the correct spot. It lines up correctly. I think. Yeah. Zoom in down here. I think even down here, yeah, you can see every one of these pages has a 1-point border around it, and you can see it. You can see it in here. My little magnifying glass, and it does show our point down here, so it's not laying out below the bottom of the edge. But then now we're just right back to where we were, where our animations bounce us to the wrong place. So then our target I don't think that mattered. I think we were still having problems. I don't think this is going to fix it. But if we change our content set to not account for that safe area inset, then I think we're literally right back to where we were moments ago. Yeah, it doubles it. Why double it? Happy this way. I'm looking down here. It's from 0 to -24 to 0. When does it go to -24? Zero, -24, 0. $60, 36, which is 24 from 60, but then it does not jump back to 60. Yeah. Why does it go to -24 when I'm not asking it to? I'm never asking it to do that. Here, so our next one should say 0. Yeah. I think my problem, the root of my problem, is that my content size is not as large as my screen. well, I'm also, my other problem is that I'm going in circles. That's my other problem. Two problems. Now my section, now my content height is going to be the full height of my screen. My content height is the full height of my screen. Yeah, it's different, so that's good. We're doing stuff. Very good, actually. Different is always good. My offset is 0. My offset is 0. At 36. Offset 0. I want to initialize my data. How do I do that? Yeah, I don't want to rotate anything. I want things nice and normal. I want to see what that very first page looks like when it's not rotated. Now nothing's rotated. Here, I go into vertical mode. Go into horizontal mode. At the offset of 24. Item size of 1088 at the offset of 24. So he's in the correct spot. So if after setting all those, I do item editors frame. Y24, height 1088. Bump is 0. That's it. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. My section height. Yeah, I left that in. So down here, my section height. Full height. Now why does it jump up there? Why does it jump up halfway? Now this is pixels, which is 12 points. So there's 12 points on either side. Now there's going to be 12 points down here too. Yeah. 24 pixels on either side, 12 points on either side. So somehow it's centering it. Animates correctly, but then it jumps. Animates to 36. Here it animates to 0. That's it. 0. All my stuff is in the wrong place. Oops. Let's look. Did change layout. Let's do this one more time. Content size. Content size, right? Point. Oops. Point. Offset. Set and pounds. That. What else do I want to look at? The other thing I want to look at is new layout. Oops. Go. Get those. Oh. Don't need slow animations. That's just rubbing it in. Switch to horizontal. Content size is correct. Content size is correct. Offset is 0. My height is correct. Did setting this guy change? Offset is correct. I kind of want to do all these over again now that I've set the bounce and see if the setting the bounce changed them. I don't know why it would. Shouldn't. Wouldn't think. Content size. Good. Selection view content size should be the exact same thing. Yeah. It's at 0, 0. Why is that page at 0, 0? Oh, that's the thing inside the page. So yeah, so why is my y at 12? My y should be at 24. Why is my y at 12? What happened? Oh, you know what happened? Maybe that's what. I'm gonna be a little grumpy. So what I think might have happened is when I set my transform, my Y, so this handles scale. So if I'm pinching and scaling the page, or if I have to scale up the page from its physical size or anything else. And I think that is business. Vertical. I come here, I go into horizontal mode, my frame, Y24, frame, Y24, go to the next page, right? No, so I did it correctly. So I saved a frame of 24. Somehow that 24 is turning into a 12. Why would that 24 turn into a 12? '24. I'm struggling with that one. That's what I want. Here. I'm setting the layout. So this is from my old layout because it has a large Y. '24 Y, which is what I want. All of them should have a 24. 24. 240, 24. I think that's my very first page. '24. What? 12. Where are those layout attributes getting built that have a 12 on the Y? Where are they ever getting built? Right? I'm never building them. What? When? How? Where? What? Okay. Guilty. Wait. Okay, so that means all of them are going to be 12. So I can. I've got my smoking gun there. So let's move my smoking gun here. And if I can catch this guy, then that means as I loop around to the next one, he's going to build the same thing and I can watch it happen. But I only ever find it here. You're a 12. You're a 12. So what is it that changes between here I'm laying out vertical, I'm laying out horizontal. You know, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. 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 I'm not going to say it's my fault, but it's a little bit my fault. It's an eensy bit my fault. Okay. Here's what happened. I'm saying this with confidence as if I fixed it before I even checked it. Here's what happened. This code is responsible for looking at all of my attributes and centering them inside of the view. That's what all of this does. And so that way, when I'm looking at the physical size, they're all nicely aligned in the center. That's what this does. I was adjusting for the inset after centering them instead of adjusting for the inset before centering.